Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Low Rollers Live, a Dungeons & Dragons live adventure. I am, as always, your host, Danny Allinson, and with me here tonight, Jonathan Edwards, playing Narroth, Prince of Thieves.
Hello.
Rachael Murphy as Isgrim Barazon.
Hello.
Alan Seymour is, of course, playing Lady Lilith von Kiln.
Howdy.
And we have Robert Seitz playing Zarrius, servant of Obad-hai.
Hello, hello.
And as always, we have our wonderful dungeon master, Christopher Rondeau. Chris, why don't you get us caught up with what happened last time on the Rollers Live?
We did forget, Danny. You need to introduce your own character.
Oh, I play Bryn.
As well as Astor Mithlader. Danny,
Oh, I
would
forgot
you like
Danny.
to say something?
Wow.
This 2-week break just murdered my intro. Go ahead, Danny. He's playing Astor.
I play Astor, you play Bryn. Yay.
Yay. Chris, get us caught up.
All right. So after a 2-week break from our players, I'll give a little more detailed recap just to catch up on the entirety of this campaign arc so far. This will just give us the time to give our audience a little refresher. It will give us a little time for our party. First things first is during the last story arc, we had a story arc called The Rise of the Wounded King, where Commander Kai has led our party fearlessly into the Tower of Babel, which turned out to be a prison for someone known as Letrus Leon, or the Wounded King. And this campaign arc has been built upon repairing the mistake of releasing the Wounded King in a theme of redemption. The road to redemption has led the party in many ways, most primarily on a boat where they left the Blackwater Mansion into the continent of Asaya, where they first encountered the land of House Collins and their evil king Thrickton Collins. Realizing that he was using non-tiefling blood for nefarious means, the party rallied against him with the help of some of the local rebels. The rebels also promising aid to the party when the time comes. After that, we headed to the land of House Steiner, located near Lake Lacarum, right in time for something called the Festival of Returning Light. We met Rachael and Benny from the Flaming Furnace Trio, and they sort of showed the party around, showed them the works as the party prepped for the festival. The night before the festival, the party went to sleep and seemed to come into a lucid dream, a mutual lucid dream, in fact, where they met a man known as Adam, who seemed to be the man on the moon. And through questioning, they were forced to relive some of the memories of their fathers, the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of their history that they don't necessarily like to recall. After talking to Adam for a little bit, Adam wanted to test their combat prowess, which Narroth has opted to basically say no, and they returned back to the natural plane from this dream state. Upon waking up, there was a great deal of exhaustion and a great deal of aches and pains, but they still decided to turn to the land of returning light, the Festival of Returning Light. As the festival started, it seemed like the moon spread a wide grin onto the lake, and the undead seemed to rise, being led by one undead figure at the center of the lake. With the help of the Flaming Furnace Trio and with the blessings of the King and Queen of House Steiner, they get on a boat and they row out to the center of the lake to meet the man known as Conrad, who is this legendary mage who supposedly took the volcanoes out of Lake Lacarum and made the fire islands there, preventing the world from suffering from any catastrophic danger of erupting volcanoes. Upon defeating this man, they returned back to the king and queen and fully got rest and peace for the first time since Adam first laid eyes on the party. After that, they acquired some flightless birds from the kingdom and rode from the land of House Steiner into a small town called Danath to try to get access into the forest to touch bases with for the land of Halcyon. But upon that, the ice dwarves seem to have another plans for the party, as some sort of winged creature flew out from the Cascade Ranges with a terrible roar signifying the start of combat. The party was quickly swarmed by a raiding party of dwarves, and upon defending the people of Danath, the party finds themselves a little lost, a little confused, and still not quite sure about how to enter the forest. With that being said, we're going to take it back right as you finish that combat. You know, this is a mere seconds after I believe Iskrim gave the killing blow to the person. Most of these guys are still alive. You guys opted to knock them out, but we are still suffering the ramifications of that. We do have some other people. Most of the tieflings from the forest have run back into the forest, and most of the people from the town has basically went to the farmlands, but there is still imminent threat. You still hear the sounds of war going on. How would you like to respond to that?
Is it over?
Hey Chris, from what we can hear, where does the sound of violence come loudest?
Yeah, so it's coming from the town, or more specifically from the farmlands past the town. It seems like they are splitting the forces up to basically do as much damage as possible. I don't think they were expecting combatants to be able to fight back, so this is probably the party that was in charge of taking care of the city.
Okay, so Lilith first turns to Isgrim and see if he's snapped out of his rage.
Iskrim is breathing very heavily. He's standing there with his war pick dripping blood, and he doesn't quite look like he's dropped out of the rage yet, and he hears the sounds of the violence, and he starts turning to head in that direction.
Astor is going to walk up to Iskrim. He's going to place his right hand on Iskrim's left shoulder. He's going to say, "Iskrim, my friend, calm down," and he's going to use this on him. I'm not using it exactly as the spell dictates, but I wonder if Chris will allow for it.
I think rage actually negates the effects of being charmed or frightened. So
Yep.
While he's raged, or with the mechanic of rage, I don't think I would allow common emotions.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing I do is
Astor still does what I said he does, just minus the spell, I guess.
I mean, it's an AoE too.
So is there any civilians around?
No, not in the immediate area.
Okay, so is there any sounds of violence coming from the actual town itself?
No, it seems like that this was the only party in charge of this particular area.
Okay, so I say we need to find somebody that can take care of these people, and we need to check the farms because there's a lot of people that could be out there hurt. And once they finish with the farms, they're going to come this way. We have to go out there and check.
Is Iskrim's still out of it, or did he react to Astor's voice or influence?
he probably would have tensed up when you put your hand on his shoulder. In fact, that's what he did. He tensed up when you put your hand on his shoulder, but when you didn't go to attack him and Lilith started talking about like checking farms because other people might be hurt, he started to relax, and you can see that his face, which had been very tense and very angry, the muscles start to relax, and he starts to look like somebody who's in control of himself again.
Good.
So, Lilith turns to Yvette and says, "Listen, can you get people from the town to tie these guys up, maybe store them in the church, and we're gonna go. If everybody's with me, let's go check the farms. Let's make sure that there's no more people hurt."
Yeah, we can tie them up. We'll be real quick. As she kind of looks over the corpse that Iskrim dealt prior, it's like, we'll take care of the rest of it. You see her run towards the inn and knock on the door, and then eventually head in.
So I turn to the rest of the party. Are you with me?
Let's go do this. I think we should go double check.
Yeah, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Bryn's
Okay.
reloading her guns.
Okay, so how far outside of town is the farms?
I want to do one more thing before we actually leave this area, though.
Okay, let's do this first. Bryn, do your thing. Let's roll perception, and then I'll answer that question.
Okay, so as we leave this area, Bryn will be the last one to go. She's usually the last one because she can hit targets from wherever. She's going to turn towards the forest and point at the tree line and just say, "You keep them safe, you got it?"
The trees wave a little bit.
All right,
and,
good.
You see maybe one or two people peek out, like children or something.
All right. She gives a nod and then follows.
I didn't mean to roll that twice, but I have advantage.
I have advantage.
I have advantage with sight.
Bryn has advantage.
I think I have advantage. Let me check.
I got my glasses on.
I have my shield.
I roll on that one.
It's a pretty good net one. That's...
Bryn and maybe Skern, depending on the advantage roll. As you go out there and you look out into the farms are rather close to the town, but they extend a couple miles in any given direction. But all you can really see at this point is the smoke rising and the people slowly running for refuge in the town. As you guys get a lookout, you see eye stores lining up in formation, which is very unusual for this particular culture, coming in and starting to quite literally march forward onto the town. As you look up, you see this winged creature a little more clearly, or Bryn and maybe Iskrim sees him a little more clearly. You see the figure of a very ancient white dragon.
Oh. Guys?
You also see that there's something mounted on it.
We have to protect these people.
I don't think we can stop the threat, though.
We have to protect these people.
Oh, I agree. But I don't think fighting them head-on is going to work. They have an army and a dragon. We need to get these people into the forest.
I agree with that. We need to get them into safety in the forest.
Okay. So, Chris, what I'm going to do is, how wide is the road? Like, is it like is the road? Is there any way to like block off the road?
No, the road's pretty open, honestly. Even though it's probably only 7 or 8, you can kind of watch it, or kind of see put 2 people side by side walking across. You can't really do much else besides that. And quite frankly, if you wouldn't have enough time to fully barricade the whole town, just so how big this town actually is.
Okay.
Or how open it is. Sorry.
Listen, this is what I'm going to do. As far as the spell goes out, I know this is wasting a big spell, but it's going to give us a little bit of time at least, except for the freaking dragon. It'll give us a little bit of time from the marchers. Because it's a pretty big thing. I'm going to cast that 120 feet from where I can see. We'll say we're about where I am on the map. And I'm just going to, for 120 feet away from me, and then 100 feet across, just sort of like trying to block the road a little bit so they have to sort of walk around it, if that makes any sense.
We can say that you won't do this immediately, so you don't waste time on the spell.
Right.
So we can say you're quote unquote readying that action.
Right.
What's everyone else doing?
So the forest where we're going to hopefully be going is to the left of us, is that correct? It's on the left part of the map.
Yeah, left part of the map.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know which way you're facing.
Sure, it's on the left part of the map. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So I take it we will start probably corralling the people towards the forest.
Yeah. I asked Zarrius, I said, do you have any way to project your voice magically? I don't.
Yes, hold on. Give me a couple minutes. Start bringing the people towards the forest. I am going to go and prepare myself to hopefully escort them in.
Okay. So I say, okay, let's split up, and let's get everybody going towards the forest. Isgrim, if you want, get the mounts, get the animals. Hopefully, we can get them to safety as well. And I guess that's it. Let's just go to action.
Cool. So Zarrius is off doing his thing. Lilith is off prepping the Pwrlvl. Everyone else?
Isgrim sees the wisdom in Lilith's advice, and so he goes to go grab the mounts.
Astor.
Astor is going to start heading towards where the people are to corral them back towards the forest.
Narroth?
Narroth hasn't really heard anything anyone said since he saw the dragon. He's just kind of staring at the sky, a little bit dumbstruck.
Yeah, let's see. I think based on some of your research, you do recognize that the white dragon is very akin to the fire dragon in the sense that they are almost like yin and yang as far as like elemental attunement. So you would know just based off some of your research that white dragon generally evil, generally ice cold stuff.
I see.
Does
Very.
Narroth is going to keep staring at the sky, pretty dumbfounded.
Danny, I heard you.
does Lilith see Narroth just sort of standing there staring?
Sure.
I say, Narroth, snap out of it. We need your help.
It's going to take a good 3 or 4 seconds for Narroth to respond, kind of look down, and say, "What are we doing?"
We gotta get people out of here. I know you
Coming
have
with me.
fascinations with dragons, but we have to get people out of here. Go get the priest. Go get the innkeeper. We have to get people out of here. They want to kill us, and I point at the dragon.
Where would we go?
The forest.
Can it survive an attack by a dragon?
It has magical powers. The forest is alive. Please do what we said. Just get everybody out. We have to try to save as many people as we can.
Perfect. Narth's going to be pretty much in a haze, but he's going to start evacuating people. He is going to very habitually look over and see how close the dragon is coming. If it comes within striking distance, he's probably going to act.
Cool. It seems like there is a rider on the dragon, and the rider seems to be telling the dragon or ordering, or I mean, you can't really see the communication, but they're waiting for the ice storms to get into place. Proper formation.
Okay, would it be circling or just kind of staying in the same place?
I think it's staying in the same place, at least in my mental image of it.
Okay.
Bryn.
Bryn is probably going to be escorting people to the forest and getting them in, since she actually knows how to get into the forest.
Okay. Bryn and Astor, you see Garrick and Lelia coming from the temple. Remembering that Lelia is actually from the forest.
Okay. No, I'm still gonna do the same thing. She's gonna be at the edge of the forest trying to get people in.
Cool. We're gonna cut to Zarrius. Zarrius.
I would probably be running a little bit ahead of Bryn before she would get there, as kind of to prepare for the mass of people that are coming. So for those people who could probably are in sight of me, at least, this is something that you probably have never seen Zarrius do before, but he does his normal tap of his staff onto the ground, but this time it's a little different. The rooted parts of his staff start to bury themselves deep into the ground. Zarrius wraps himself essentially around his staff, and as the roots start burying themselves deep into the ground, all of a sudden this big trunk of a tree starts to form around Zarrius, rising up to the sky. Not high up, but we're thinking a pretty doggone large tree. And there is kind of the hint of the bluish color that kind of emits from Zarrius' staff normally, and it's kind of like emanating this little blue light, and it's heralding the people. But Zarrius is going to speak to the forest and say, there are people attacking this town, and we need to enter in as quickly as possible, hopefully with your permission.
You hear a pause, and there's no immediate reaction. Bryn can enter the scene at this time, observing Zarrius transforming into the tree.
Oh, good. Have you asked it to get in yet?
Yes, and he's actually sounds a whole lot louder than he normally is.
She kinda
Because
like
it's really down here and boomy and ridiculous.
she kind of looks towards the tree line, and her eyes are glancing between the tree line and back up at the dragon and back to the tree line. Will you let them in, please?
I think Zarrius is probably. I think Zarrius would hear this in his head. Goes, why?
The ice dwarves are attacking these people of yours. There is a dragon that is ready to fly over and destroy these people. We need safety in the trees, in the forest. You are so much more powerful than we are, and we need your assistance.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a nature check, Zarrius.
God almighty, okay.
I'll even take an Arcana if that's a little better.
Arcana is much better,
19.
but nature will be okay.
As you kind of dwell into the presence of this tree, you feel this huge sensation of the Fae. These you are visiting the Feywild quite often in your past. You kind of get the weird nature of it, where everything's just kind of freer, and you recognize that this entity that's kind of quote unquote living in this forest has its origins rooted in the Feywild, specifically the Spring Woods.
Ah, okay.
Help me, old oak tree. You're my only hope.
Darn it. Do I kind of take that as a signal that it's free for us to enter?
No, so this is I had you roll nature as a knowledge check so you can kind of get the feel of what's going on.
Okay.
But that doesn't add or detract from the scenario itself.
Okay. So I still haven't heard a response then from the forest.
That's correct.
Okay. I'm gonna boom down to Bryn. I still don't know anything, but it is Fae-like. It reminds me of the spring woods in the Feywild. It's rather... It takes me back. And you don't see a smile, but Zarrius would have a big smile on his face.
Astor can arrive at this scene too. And I think maybe Iskrim is following with the mounts at this point as well.
So, does Astor hear anything of what Zarrius says?
Maybe the tail end of it. This reminds me of the Feywild. Smile, grin, but not actually smile.
Gotcha. Astor's going to approach wherever he heard this voice from, and he says, Zarrius, is that you?
Yes.
So, how are we going to get permission to use the tree's protection? Okay.
So I'm thinking it's almost like a portal that we have to use. Zarrius would kind of, with the way he kind of used his whip back in the day to open up a portal and hit the certain spots in the area. Zarrius is going to see if he like sticks some of his branches down in a certain order /
Wait, so let me get this right. Is Zarrius whipping the forest?
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
Is that what's happening?
I'm sorry. No,
I want a moment, Sites. We can go to Lilith for a second.
Sure.
Perfect. Lilith, so you're starting to see them in marching, coming from. This might put a little tamper in your plans, but they're coming from the east. Yes, I remember my directions. Yeah, they're coming from the east. Never eat sour water. Perfect. The east. So you'll have to put your wall up over here.
Okay. So I go to the other side of the I'm as I was watching them, I'm probably moving with them. As I see that they're coming from the east, I'm going to, which kind of makes it a little bit better. I'm going to put it probably right at the edge of the road on the map, and then like 50 feet on each side of the road, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But I'm still gonna wait for them to get as close as possible, and I can still escape.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'm gonna wait for them to get as close as possible, because I can dimension door, and as soon as I put my wall of force, I can dimension door to the forest, well, the edge of the forest. Because that surely isn't 500 feet.
Sounds good. How does it look like?
What, my wall of force?
You know, even if it's just you casting this invisible wall.
Okay, so basically what happens is as soon as I can see that they're getting close, you see Lilith's hand, her left hand goes out, and you could sort of see her like almost drawing a line, and then she, as her hands connect, she claps her hands, and then her other hand goes out to the other side, and you see her snap her fingers, and as soon as she snaps her fingers, the wall of force comes up. It's translucent, not I didn't make it transparent. It's sort of like a translucent, so that it's got like that shimmer effect, like Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility when he takes it off and on.
Sure.
It's got like that type of effect.
Got it. So it's just like a little. You can. Yeah, I get it. You see the little displacing of the air, but not much more.
Right.
That. Got it. Narroth, you're also looking at the dragon. Dragon's coming in at this point.
Coming in?
Yeah, he's following the army in, and Lilith would have placed his wall in, and the dragon seems to be coming to meet you, quote unquote.
Okay. And the wall's only a certain amount of feet high, right? Like,
It's just 10 feet high, 100 feet long.
so a dragon who's flying will definitely have no problem getting around that.
It's a fair guess.
All right. In this case, Narroth is going to see the dragon approaching, and he's going to do something stupid. He's going to cast Fly as a concentration spell on himself, and he's going to rush at it. Specifically, he's going to try and dart around and try to draw its attention away from the main battle.
Give me a wisdom save.
You're right. That is stupid.
Yep. Me as a player knows this.
Okay. So as soon as I see Narroth,
Wait, wouldn't he have to attack my wisdom defense?
For this, we'll keep it this way because you're charging at it. Normally it would have been. I can roll it if you like.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
might be a chance that you can succeed.
I mean,
Sorry,
from a selfish perspective, go for it because I know I failed the first one, but
it's not rolling. Sorry, I did not have this character sheet up.
Yep.
So you find yourself flying up to this thing, and you're just shook with fear.
okay. Does that mean I go in the opposite direction, or?
So the fear condition means you have disadvantage on attack rolls, and you cannot willingly move closer to the creature.
Okay. I'm going to then try to circle around and draw its attention by shooting off fire bolts, cantrips at it.
Yeah, they'll follow you.
Okay, perfect. Also, I'm going to run like hell because, I mean, I know I have the condition frightened, but my character is frightened to his core of this thing.
Okay. So as Narroth is doing his thing, I'm going to dimension door back towards the forest, and everybody else is there, right?
Sure. We'll I think I'm going to we'll cut back to Zarrius, and then I can let you know when your dimension door in as far as the scene goes.
Okay.
Zarrius and the rest of the party.
So Zarrius digs his as Zarrius digs his branches into the ground, kind of in frustration of nothing happening. He yells out at the top of his lungs, by the name of Lady Mithlader, we need to enter to save these people. Her son is here to assist, and we need passage.
You see the trees kind of roast still in the wind. We can have Lilith enter in at this point. And for the briefest of seconds, Astor, you hear in your mind, you're not fully a Mithlader. Who are you?
Astor responds in kind with his mind, so he's not speaking out loud. He says, I am the son of Lady Mithlader, and my father was a human of this plane. I am half Mithlader, but I am as Mithlader as they can be. And hold on. Well, and he says, and he also says, and I too do beseech that for your protection in helping the people of this town.
You hear in your mind's eye, it's like you don't even have the smell of the Feywild on you.
Astor visibly shrugs and he says, that doesn't change the fact that my mother's a Mithlader.
We'll cut to Narroth real quick. Narroth, I'm going to attack your con defense.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
You know, just this once, that'll do it.
I literally just exited roll 20 on
Oh, you missed.
with
Totally
my 30.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, he'll probably do that.
How much HP does Narroth have nowadays?
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's never
Enough.
a good sign.
83.
Sorcerers are so squishy.
You take 58 cold damage as this icy breath encompasses you, which I think only really presses the fear that you're feeling in your body.
Oh yeah.
Do I?
At this point, how much of the town is evacuated?
I think everyone's kind of waiting on the edge of the forest at this point.
So no one, because the forest hasn't granted us permission yet.
Correct.
So do I see Narroth getting
Pounded.
Pounded, yeah.
I don't know if you're necessarily paying attention.
That's fair. Okay.
But, I mean, you do see the dragon up there. I can see you either way. I'll leave it as a character choice. I mean, it's a dragon. It's very hard to ignore.
At this point, Lilith approaches the edge of the forest and says, almost pleading, she goes, please, we just want to save these people. We mean you no harm. We mean you no ill will. I just want to save these people from a horrible death by a horrible creature that just wants to slaughter them all.
After Astor hears Lilith say that, he tries to communicate with the forest in the same way he just did, and he says, well, you've heard what we're all thinking. What do you say?
You are a Mithlader. We will grant you in for questioning. And like that, you guys kind of see a very small path. Only one person can go at a time. appear within the forest. It's like it was always there. Like the trail looks like it's clearly supposed to be there, but it's kind of it strikes you as odd.
So as the path appears, Lilith sort of says as loud as she can, "Children first, then the women," and she sort of tries to get as many people down the path as possible.
I would repeat what Lilith said. Children first, and then women, and then everyone else follow through. And as he's doing that, Zarrius starts paying attention to what's going on behind with the people coming at us, the dwarves and the dragon. You see Zarrius kind of glow this bluish color again. It's a little bit more prominent than what you had previously seen, and his branches are uprooted and then go back down into the earth, and he is going to do this behind the people, and just try and make it as difficult for them to come across as possible, not worrying too much about the dragon.
Cool, Narroth. You see people are slowly being evacuated.
Perfect. Narroth is going to be sprinting and dodging and rolling as much as he physically can, trying to avoid the blast, but still, keep the dragon on his tail. So he's going to be throwing fire bolts at it while, spinning around and changing direction very suddenly.
Cool. Why don't you just give me an acrobatics check? Cool. Yeah. We'll say you effectively, after that initial, just, you grew up in a place where it was very cold, right, John?
Narroth grew up, or are you talking about me as a player?
John.
Oh, yes.
So you get that feeling where like you're in your nice warm house and then you go outside and it's like freezing and you breathe in that cold air for the first time. It kind of just like shocks your system into acute awareness of your situation.
Yep.
That's sort of what I'm imagining just happened to Narroth. This ice breath came in. She's like, "Oh crap!" And then you just sort of went into overdrive, just making sure that you are properly distracting, properly hidden, or properly not getting hit, that sort of thing.
I'm going to just assume that the ice breath probably brought Narroth more to his senses after being frightened so badly by that dragon. I mean, he still has the frightened condition, but he is now more aware. Less panic.
Cool. Yeah, that'll work. You want to head back to the forest at this point in time?
Narroth is going to do that when he sees basically only a few people left.
Cool. I'll let you know when that scene happens.
Perfect.
So a lot of these villagers, there's maybe about 100 of them. They all start to enter the forest, and how do you guys want to handle it? At this point, I don't know why that rolled. At this point, the doors are kind of on the city. They're being barricaded by the wall, but you can definitely hear them beginning to come into town, and you kind of see the smoke coming from the houses. Iskrim, you never seen the dwarves this organized before. You also have only heard rumors of dragons living in the Cascade Range. Never seen one, or even like seen wyverns or anything like that.
So Iskrim is absolutely terrified of that, but he the way he basically faces his terror is he just does stuff, and maybe to the point almost of ignoring it. So rather than focusing on the dragon, he's focusing on making sure that the people that he's evacuating are in order. He still has the mounts, but he wants to make sure, like Lilith said, that children and women go in first. So he's making sure that everybody is kind of in line, ready to go, watching their backs, making sure that nobody's, going to try and start a stampede and get hurt.
Cool. Most of the people are into the forest now. Maybe there's only a couple more plus the party. We'll say it's Cage, Yvette, and the party at this point. I think Narroth starts to begin to fly in, and Iskrim looks up and sees the figure of Trident Maelstrom on the back of this dragon. How do you react to that?
Rage. No, he sees that, and Iskrim is exceedingly agitated. He doesn't full on rage because he knows that if he were to do that, he would lose control, and that's what Trident does to people. He makes his people lose control and give in to the wounded king. So Iskrim is at this point trying to study what he's doing, how he's moving. He's watching the ice dwarves now, scrutinizing their formations and just how different it is from the way that they would normally do things like hunt a mammoth or something like that, or a large creature that they would hunt.
Cool. Cage walks in. What's the marching order?
You're gonna hear Zarrius say to everyone else, he says it in a specific way. If you guys know, if you guys have probably all seen Jurassic World, the T-Rex, when he does his massive roar, it's gonna emanate kind of from the tree, except Zarrius is gonna say go.
All right, so Lilith says, Bryn, follow the people. Astor, go with her. Isgrim, wait here with me. We're to wait for Narroth, and then we're going to go. Zarrius, keep an eye out.
Yes, and Zarrius kind of... It sounds like Zarrius comes down to your guys' level and just says, I'm going to need help getting into the forest. And he goes back lookout sort of thing, tree wise, but he can probably see where everyone's at in the town, is my guess.
No, he can't actually.
Okay. Well, he sees the dragon and Narroth probably.
Narroth can have landed at this point.
Okay. As soon as I see that, I say, I touch him with as powerful of a cure wounds as I can, which is 4th level, and I literally push him ahead of me into the forest and say, Isgrim, grab Zarrius, and we'll enter the forest as well.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, when Lilith gave the orders the first time, you would have noticed that Bryn did not listen. Instead, she took a knee and put her rifle up.
Zarrius would probably take a branch and push her towards the opening, as well as everyone else, and corral them into the pathway with his branches.
How close is the dragon getting?
Close enough.
And is it flying in?
Yes.
At this point, Zarrius is going to let out a little whisper and say, "Help." And all of a sudden, you see the blue hue kind of disappear. And the tree starts deforming back into what you would expect to see, which is Zarrius, except Zarrius is holding his staff and he is kind of passed out on the floor due to the mental capacity that was used into doing what he did.
Iskrim runs over to Zarrius and basically picks him up, puts him on his shoulder, fireman style.
No.
He really quickly, he would turn to Bryn and actually say, "Watch our back," and then go into the forest.
Got it.
Is Narroth in the forest or out of the forest at this point? I wasn't clear on that.
It's up to you.
Okay, I'm going to say Narroth is kind of behind, trying to, warm himself and basically looking back and seeing the dragon come forward. He's going to look to Bryn and say, "Bryn, there's a time not to fight."
Oh, by the way,
I'm giving myself advantage on this shot. It's on the dragon rider.
That's a cool idea. Yeah, you can hit him.
All right, he's knocked back 10 feet.
Cool.
Oh,
I don't know if 10 feet is actually enough to knock him off the dragon, because the dragon is a huge creature. So I wouldn't allow him to make a
I mean, if it knocks him off the saddle, I'm content.
It knocks him off the saddle for sure. But he still he holds on to the thing, and the dragon sort of slows down as he begins to climb back up into the mountains. But it bought you enough time.
It effectively makes the dragon rear back. That's what I was going for.
Perfect.
All right, and then once that happens, she's gonna go, "All right, time to go."
Also, Narroth, you heal 27 points.
cool. Narroth is basically going to follow Bryn right after.
Cool. Everyone's in the forest? Did I miss someone? Astor?
No, Astor's inside. He was following the people.
Cool.
Yeah, he listens to orders.
Yeah.
Cool. Everyone but Zarrius, roll me a d4.
A D4, you said?
Yes.
This sucks. I rolled a 1.
Is that everyone? Yeah, because no Zarrius. Perfect. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and we'll fade to black if that's cool, Danny.
Okay, everybody. We are going to take a really quick break, 5 to 10 minutes, and collect ourselves. Thank you so much for joining us for the Low Rollers Live, and we will be back in just a few. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to more Low Rollers Live. Chris, why don't you take it away?
Cool. So, you guys try to follow Wright one after another, but as you go into the forest, you lose track of the people in front of you. It's this very odd kind of thing where it seems like you see the person turn left, but the trail kind of leads you right. It's I think your sense of direction is completely tripped up. It's even for the most even for the people who are used to traveling and that sort of thing. But as you guys get to maybe 50 feet in, you guys do hit an opening, but you do not see the other people around you. Narroth will find himself next to Lilith. We'll start there with those two.
What is our surrounding currently?
Trees and a pathway.
Where are the others?
Narroth kind of looks around. I have no idea.
So I'm gonna, I guess, make a quick perception check to see if I can maybe see through the trees or...
Yeah, I'll tell you, you can't see through the trees.
Okay, so then I'm going to use a spell of sending, and I'm going to send a message to Bryn and basically say, I guess we just keep walking. This is Lilith. I guess we're just going to keep walking forward. Hopefully we come back together. You can respond to this message with 25 words or less.
Give me a d20 roll.
Who?
Lilith.
Nope. It doesn't go off, does it?
No, it's only a 5% chance the message doesn't arrive. So you're fine.
Okay.
Only a 13. So, only in that one would have made this. That message goes off.
Do you want me to respond now or later?
Respond now.
Okay.
Perfect. Lilith and Narroth, what do you do?
I turn to Narroth and I say, I guess we just keep following the path and hopefully we meet up with the others. I think this forest definitely does have a mind of its own.
So I can see the path in front. What does the left and right look like?
Trees.
Do they look like you could walk through this forest, or is it kind of like when we got to the edge of the forest and we couldn't really see a way through?
It's kind of like when you got to the edge of the forest.
Well, can't go back, can't go to the sides. Guess the only way to go is forward.
You can potentially go back. I mean, the path behind you is open.
Yeah, but there's also a dragon behind us.
That's true. As you think that thought, you do not hear the sounds of combat coming from where you came from, and you only walked about 50 feet in.
Well, I'm not sure how much combat there'd be if everybody was evacuated, but
There's enough to burn down buildings. I mean,
yeah, true.
Also, I reach into my bag of holding and I pull out a rope and I say, so we don't get separated again. And I take and hand one end of the rope to Narroth and I tie the other end of the rope around myself.
Narroth just holds on to the rope. He's not that committed.
Perfect. We'll cut to Bryn, Iskrim, and Zarrius. So Zarrius is on Iskrim's back, and Bryn is, I think Bryn went in after those two. So Bryn will basically walk into Iskrim and Zarrius, and we'll proceed the scene from here.
Hi, Iskrim.
Hi.
I got a message from Lilith. She thinks we should just keep walking forward.
That makes sense. Everyone here says the forest has a mind of its own, so it hasn't hurt us yet and is protecting us, so I'll go wherever it leads.
See, that's the spirit. Hey, by the way, did you see what I did to that dragon guy?
No, what did you do to that dragon guy? I was a little
Oh.
too busy picking up this little guy right here.
Oh, I tagged him with this bad boy, and she takes out her rifle. Knocked him right off the saddle.
Iskrim chuckles and laughs appreciatively.
You should have
You
seen him.
seem
He
to
did
be-
not keep his composure.
You seem to be a very good shot with that.
Years of practice. And a good eye.
Fade from that. Astor and I think Astor and Yvette walked in with the group of people, and they find themselves next to each other without the group of people. Let's start this scene here. Yvette's out of breath. Astor, where is everyone?
Well, if this sensation is at all like something I experienced before, everyone's everywhere, but hopefully we'll all meet up at the place we intend to be.
What?
It's a Feywild thing.
The what?
The Feywild, where I didn't even know how to explain this.
The what?
It's okay. Forget I said anything, but I think for the time being we're safe, so you can ease up a bit. Just breathe. Calm down.
So we're in a forest that has its mind of its own, and we're safe. At least the dragon, we could have fought that.
Well, you could have fought that and died, I'd like to say, or worse. But,
Expelled. Go ahead.
damn it. Okay. However, one reason why I don't feel too uncomfortable about being here is because they granted us passage in exchange for questioning me, I guess.
What? Who are you? Besides just a bard.
Well, I had to be honest. On my mother's side, my family is apparently very prominent in the spring courts of the Feywild, which is the affinity that this forest has as far as magic goes. So because they recognize that I have some of that blood, I think they might have been willing to just let us through.
Your blood.
I'm, how do I put this, half Eladrin.
What's that?
High elf?
So why didn't you just call yourself a high elf?
It's a word I've heard.
What?
Never mind, that's not what you meant. Well, I didn't grow up as one, I suppose. I spent more time here with humans and all the other races as opposed to where my mother was originally from.
Ugh, I don't like this place.
We'll be fine. We just have to power on through and hope everything works out well.
Shouldn't we turn back, see if we can find anyone else?
No, if I remember correctly, when it comes to traveling in the Feywild, it's probably not a good idea to go back.
I don't understand what that means at all.
Well, I guess what I can say is I have to ask you to trust me, which may be a difficult thing at the moment.
She pats you on the back. Lead the way.
You just hear Astor sigh, and he goes, "All right, I guess we'll get going this way." And he just keeps walking in the same direction they've been going. And then he's also going to ask you, Bet. I know we already discussed this, but is the name Alvin really just a moniker for you? Doesn't have anything significant?
You want to talk to me about this now?
I mean, what else can we do while we're walking through a forest where we don't know where everyone is?
Look for everyone else?
What do you think I'm doing right now?
Talking.
I'm also walking.
I don't believe people are multitaskers. I just think they're multitaskers. Pay attention.
Astor kind of gives her a look, like with a raised eyebrow, and just goes, "Well, whatever you say."
Cutting to... Oh, no one showed up in the first spot. Cutting to Narroth and Lilith. You guys walk a little ways. You guys want to talk? What are you guys doing? How are you approaching it?
So Lilith is going to ask, what was your, besides being extremely brave and kind of stupid, what were you thinking about flying at the dragon?
Narroth looks over. Well, I mean, he made a wall for the troops, but the dragon would have incinerated those people or froze those people in an instant. Needed someone to distract it. I thought, what better than one of its own kind? A rival at that.
It was brave, but I still gotta say, it's kind of stupid. But I'm glad you did something instead of just standing there in a daze.
I mean, when's the last time you saw a dragon?
Have I ever seen a dragon?
No. I don't think anyone has besides the shadow dragon.
I don't think I've ever seen a dragon.
I've only seen one once, and it turns out it wasn't even really him. The first proper dragon I've ever seen. A link to my heritage, and it was being ridden like an animal.
I understand this, but luckily you snapped out of it, but we had to go. We saved the people, that's all that matters.
That's what I was doing, helping to save the people.
Insane?
Yep.
Bryn, Zarrius, and Iskrim. You guys are walking a little bit.
How long has it been, roughly?
Not very long. I will roll. About 19 minutes.
Okay, Bryn has basically decided to help Isgrim carry Zarrius. So Isgrim will be carrying his feet behind him, and Bryn will be carrying Zarrius's hands in front of her, and Zarrius will just be swinging in between us as we walk along the forest.
What's the state of Zarrius right now?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question? Did you ask what the state of Zarrius is?
That's correct.
Okay.
I told you he's swinging.
Like a hammock.
He was probably passed out from the mental capacity that he used in making the tree happen. So he was probably weak and dazed, like extremely dazed from the whole endeavor.
Why don't we say Zarrius recovers at this point?
He's still swinging.
Still swinging, but he's not. He has his wherewithal.
And he's extremely groggy.
Sure.
Wakey, wakey.
What?
How are you feeling?
Oh, where are we?
In the forest, silly.
Forest?
Yeah, look, and she lifts his his left hand so that his head kind of swings off to the side and he can see the tree line next to them.
Sorry, that was really funny.
The forest.
Can you guys put me down?
She'll let go.
Just let go.
Yeah. He's spry.
So now Iskrim is left holding the feet, and here's Zarrius go thunk behind him.
Is he passed out again?
Oops,
No.
there goes the rubber tree.
At which point, Zarrius will, not Zarrius, sorry, Iskrim will bend down and try to set his feet gently on the ground. But this definitely reminds him of the games of wheelbarrow that he used to play with his father when he was a child, where his dad would pick him up by the feet and he would walk around with his hands.
God.
In the snow.
Let's go.
Yes,
That's a really small wheelbarrow.
that's true. Won't hold much.
Get back to scene. I don't even know whose one that was. I think that was a collective one.
Sure. Anyways, so
I tied it into story, come on.
So Zarrius is now on the ground, not being dragged by anyone. And he slowly gets his bearings together and he slowly just stands up. He's still just pretty weak physically from the tree. And does he recognize or is familiar with the whole direction thing that he is more familiar with than anyone in the party that he knows of?
What?
What?
Due to the fact that Zarrius has been in the Feywild probably more than anyone in the party, does he understand the whole direction aspect of the forest?
He understands the direction aspect of the Feywild. That doesn't necessarily. You don't know if that applies to the forest.
Okay, sure.
So we'll just
Sure.
give
Okay,
you this
okay.
quick thing real quick. When you walk north and south, it changes the time of day, and when you go east and west, it changes the season. So keep that in mind, I guess. Seitz,
Sure,
if you
sure.
want to use that knowledge.
Can I do a history check of what I remember of the Feywild in terms of how the directions were there?
I don't know if that'd be sure. Give me a history check.
What would you consider it?
I guess history check makes sense.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
Of course. And so what Zarrius takes a couple steps and probably is a little wobbly, and says to everyone else, "Let's stick together really close, aka we need to stay connected as much as possible, because I have a feeling we could easily." And Zarrius takes a look around and says, "Where's everyone else?"
We got separated.
Oh, so this is a weird forest. Okay. We need to stick together as much as possible so that we don't get lost.
Gotcha. Isgrim, grab his feet.
Zarrius will hit Isgrim's hands if he tries to go for his legs.
No, Isgrim is not that much of a prankster. He would turn and look at Bryn, and he would you'd see like a half smile on his face and a twinkle in his eye, but then he wouldn't make any moves towards Zarrius.
Okay. Good.
Bryn is just laughing.
Let's go and see where this takes us.
Lead the way, boss.
Astor and Yvette. So, do you know anything about how this force works?
Can't say I do, but there is something I want to try. And after Astor says that, he reaches out towards the forest and he says, well, he tries to say to the forest, is there a reason you split us up?
You say out loud?
No, in his head, like he was talking earlier, communicating
No
earlier. Okay. Then he audibly says, well, let's try this. He speaks a little louder than he was when speaking directly to Yvette, and he said, hey, Forrest, is there a reason you split all of us up?
No response.
Well, it was with a shot. How are you feeling, Yvette? You doing alright?
I'm about 3 drinks from being passed out.
That's good. I don't know. Actually, there's one other thing I want to try. This time, Astor reaches out to Dav, and he says, Dav, are you anywhere near here?
She comes frolicking back to you. Isn't this place great? She says this in your head.
I take it you're enjoying it. Now, I have a question for you, Dav. Are you... Well, I'm guessing the answer is yes, but are you able to communicate with the forest we're currently walking in?
Of course. You know, they have exotic fruits here as well. I'm ready to try it. It's supposed to be similar to what we have in our hometown.
That does sound refreshing. I don't know if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, but Could you ask the forest if they could lead myself and Yvette to the rest of the group?
No, they're trying to test you.
All of us, or me specifically?
All of you, at least all the combative types.
I see. Well, I guess I can't ask you for what the answer is to all of this since it is a test, but well, if you being here makes it I don't know, jeopardizing the test, you can go and have your fruits, I suppose. Anything I should keep in mind as I'm walking?
I don't know. Do people think normally?
Sorry, say that again.
Do people think normally? Don't you just walk?
You
Do
see,
need to think
Astor.
to walk?
Astor ponders for a second, and then he goes, I guess not. Well, do you want to walk with me, or do you want to go and get your fruits?
Oh, I don't know. I'm assuming I'll get my fruits after all these tests are over.
I see. Would the forest have anything against me asking you to tell everybody else that this is a test?
I can't reach them.
Oh,
Too much chatter.
a voice per living being inside of this forest?
Oh, there are many living beings.
Oh, and I guess you enjoy the sound as you're walking through here, huh?
Their thoughts are like music.
Makes me kind of wish I could hear it.
Oh, if you perhaps stayed in the Feywild instead of running away, maybe you could have learned.
Well, speaking of that, what did they mean exactly about me not having the smell of the Feywild?
I don't know. You don't smell like the Feywild. You smell like the natural plane.
Just that. That's it.
I don't know. You have to ask them. I can't read their mind. Well, I can. It's complicated.
Is there any way you can teach me to be able to speak with them a bit better?
Maybe we went to the Feywild.
I guess that'll be for a later date.
Aww. I won't tell Lana.
Astor just face palms.
Yeah, so as Astor begins wandering forward, he does begin to hear the forest in his head and goes, so why are you here? Mithlader.
Well, and this is Astor responding in the same way, in his head, I suppose. Well, I am here. Well, here specifically because I and my companions had asked for your help to protect the people that were living right next to you, for which I thank you immensely. But more specifically, I and my companions are here to try and fight back against lecherous Leon that we accidentally set free not too long ago.
You just returned back to your home, Mithlader.
Why?
You said so yourself. There's a wounded king here.
I mean, while I understand that it's a kind of a smart choice to run away from danger, there are people that I care about that I want to try and protect from the wounded king. I can't just leave them alone.
Why not?
Because I want them to live. I want them to have the freedom to live their lives as they please without infringing upon anyone else's happiness. It's something I truly believe everybody has a right to obtain.
Aren't you infringing on your own happiness?
Why do you say that?
Because you're out in danger.
Well, I guess what I said was rather broad, but the way I see this is, sure, I'm putting myself in danger. I may be making a bit of a sacrifice, but much further down the road, I know that if I succeed, when I succeed, that I will actually gain even greater happiness than if I had simply done nothing. Mainly because this happiness will not be simply my own, but shared with everybody else that I care about.
And you hear silence. Or you don't hear silence. You hear nothing. Yeah.
All right, they just don't say anything. Astor, in his head still, he says, well, is that an acceptable answer?
I say, no, you are not a true Mithlader.
Astor just shrugs and he says, oh well.
At this point, in front of Astor and Yvette, another figure will begin to appear, and you recognize this elemental kind of fey creature from previous when you were back in the Clockwork City. It's not the exact same creature, but it kind of has the same energy. And it begins to appear before you.
Astor continues walking. Well, sorry, is the figure approaching us or is it just there?
It's standing there, yes.
I see. Astor's going to walk up within decent conversational distance, I suppose. And he says, well, hello there. My name is Astor Mithlader. What might you be doing around these parts?
We are here to deem you worthy of the forest.
Okay.
And he pulls out his trident.
His what?
He pulls out his trident.
Trident, okay. Astor. Well, he doesn't really react, he just says, is it necessary to fight?
We're going to pause here for a second. Narroth and Lilith, as you guys walk forward, you will see a figure in your path.
What does this figure look like?
Yeah, so it appears to be a floating rock monster. He appears to have a maul in his hand, and he is holding it in kind of a way that it's easy to get a swing off if you choose to. I kind of envisioning kind of like a baseball bat, but this person doesn't have any legs. They are adorned with jewelry, precious gems, and rare metals. That you can kind of see engraved in his face.
I suppose Narroth will walk up and walk up next to it and say hello.
Like, unfortunately, your Mithlader has answered very poorly.
We do not want to fight.
That is your choice. And he brings up the hammer. Bryn, Iskrim, Zarrius. You also see a figure in your way.
Iskrim bows in greeting.
This is the descriptor I have, okay? You come across an attractive, tall, well-muscled humanoid with blue skin and dark eyes. They dress in airy, shimmery silks, designed as much for comfort as they flaunt their masculinity. So yeah, you see that.
Greetings. And I bow along with Iskrim.
Hi.
Based on the actions of Mithlader, you have proven to be unworthy of the forest. He takes up his scimitar and begins to face you.
According to whom?
Mithlader has determined himself unworthy of the forest.
Who deems whether he's worthy or not?
The forest.
I see.
Let's roll initiative.
Excellent. I have advantage on initiative and get the same roll both times.
Mine worked out really good. I got an advantage on initiative and I rolled 10 higher.
I'm missing someone?
Yeah, you're missing me. Give me a sec.
Don't forget that I believe in the last combat, I gave Narroth and Isgrim aid. It still would be active because it lasts for 8 hours.
Narroth, what's your dex?
Narroth has a 14 dexterity.
Your music coming out, Danny?
Yeah.
Okay. So this man in front of Zarrius, he pulls out his scimitar and kind of goes, "I'm sorry, but I must force you out of the forest." And he raises it to begin to strike. But Zarrius also has the first turn.
As a bonus action, he's going to cast Shillelagh. You'll see his staff glow the same blue hue that you saw with the tree, and it will kind of then disappear, and his staff has now become a magical weapon. And he will move a little closer, but not do anything. He'll move there.
Bryn.
Bryn is going to hold her action until the guy moves threateningly towards them.
Astor.
Astor is, well, real quick, what is Dab doing as far as what he can see, if she's there?
She's looking at the trees. As a heads up, these are large creatures.
This makes more sense.
So that's why they're not in this one square, is that correct?
correct.
Okay, makes sense.
I was confused. All right.
Real quick, okay, so Astor finds himself face to face with a another elemental. He's like large. He's kind of fat inside. He kind of has a fish head. And as they begin to walk towards you, their lower bodies seem to transform into water.
When Astor looks at this being, does it have like the is it emanating hostility? I guess is what I should ask.
Yes.
Okay.
The trident is out. It is facing you.
Okay. Astor is going to. Actually, he's going to hold his action until the thing gets closer, and then he might just react. Kind of like Bryn, same thing.
Bryn, he's gonna move closer.
All right, Bryn is going to draw her rifle. Actually, no, she would have had her hand on her pistol, basically. And then she's just going to fire 3 shots at him.
Do it.
1, 2, 3.
They all hits.
How exactly does he react to that?
Yeah, so he takes the hits. He seems pretty unfazed as far as like the amount of hurt he takes. It is almost like he's not actually feeling the pain.
I see.
I forgot to roll for you, that too. 1 second. Anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Yeah, he's going to move right up onto Zarrius.
I'll pat Isgrim on the shoulder and say, go get him.
And he's going to swing twice. Just swing 3 times.
The first and third hit.
Cool, you take that.
Okay, 14 plus 16 is 30.
Cool, and now end his turn. Astor.
Hmm?
This guy is gonna enter your peripheral too. He's wearing fine silks on his coal black skin and embeds himself in brass and gold chains and rings, all glittering with jewels. But that'll end his turn. Lilith.
Okay, so Lilith is just going to say, we do not want to fight. And she's going to reach up and touch her holy symbol and cast this. It's against his dex defense.
Looks
Yeah.
resilient sphere.
I'll do it.
Okay, so he is now enclosed in a sphere. Cannot move, cannot attack, cannot do anything.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna move within 5 feet of Narroth.
Cool. Iskram.
Okay, so just as Bryn was taking out her gun and shooting, Iskrim was getting ready to ask the large person in front of us to escort us to the edge of the forest to get us out, if that's what he wanted. But since Bryn shot at him, that kind of, the words got halfway out of his mouth and then bang, bang, bang. And he's like, oh, shoot. So he is going to charge at the creature and push it away from Zarrius, but he is not going to attack it. At least he's gonna try to push it.
You doing the charger thing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So go ahead and roll athletics check. Yeah, you move him 10 feet back.
Cool. Straight back from Zarrius.
Does that mean I get an attack of opportunity when he leaves?
Sure, I'll allow it.
Cool. So I would just attack with my staff as he's moving away.
Nice. And attorney scrum?
He'll say after Zarrius attacks and the thing has been pushed back, if you wish us to leave, just point us to the exit.
Narroth.
All right. Narroth is going to walk forward to the encapsulated Dow. He's going to turn his ring, and you can see that he kind of becomes a little bit more dusty, almost as if his scales are getting harder and turning to stone. He also is going to cast his bonus action Stone Aegis on Lilith, and she also becomes a little bit dusty, and it looks like her armor is getting a little bit more stony as well. And he's going to walk up to it. And that ends my turn.
Cool. It's going to burrow, using its action to move at half its speed.
It can't. It is completely encapsulated.
It says it can use its action to push the sphere's walls and thus rolls the spheres at up to half the creature's speed. So it has a burrow speed, so it's going to go down.
Okay.
I feel like digging in the earth is a bit different than rolling on top.
Yeah. Yeah, it can't burrow.
Not if you push hard enough.
It says an enclosed creature can use its action to push against the sphere's wall and thus roll the sphere up to half the creature's speed. It's not going to be able to dig in the dirt.
But he can move through the dirt without disturbing it.
But the sphere, I don't think can.
Right.
I mean, it's your call, but
Well, it does say nothing, not physical object, energy, or other spell effects can pass through the barrier in or out.
Right. So the earth can't pass through the sphere.
Hold on.
Or, like Danny and all his wisdom said, maybe if you push hard enough.
Okay, I'll give it to you. But he can cast a spell inside the sphere.
Sure.
I'm gonna attack Lilith's intelligence, I believe. One second.
doesn't the spell say that?
Yeah, it can't pass out of the barrier. You can cast a spell on yourself, but you can't cast it on me.
But the damage is psychic.
Nothing, not physical objects, energy, or other spell effects can pass through the barrier.
But it is his call, so.
And then it says, the sphere is immune to all damage, and a creature or object inside can't be damaged by attacks or effects originating from outside.
I understand the rules. Let me think, okay? That's all. Let me think. I understand your argument. Okay, it appears to disappear inside the thing. Yvette's gonna go. Yvette's gonna cast haste on Astor. Gonna move there, Zarrius. Stop it around.
Can Astor take his turn now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So this thing looks like it has every intent of fighting, right?
Yep.
Cool. So what Astor is going to do is he's going to draw his Dao weapon. He's going to... Oh, there it is. It's going to go around. He's going to attack it twice with his first action.
Misses.
Okay. So, second one.
That hits.
And he's going to add on a defensive flourish. So +6 damage, and his AC is going to go up by 6 as well. Then with his second action, he's going to cast Shield of Faith on himself.
Shield of Faith is a bonus action.
Is that what it is?
Correct.
Hold on. Yeah, you're right. Okay. With the bonus action, he casts Shield of Faith on himself. And then with the haste action, he can only do one melee attack, right?
Correct.
Okay. He's going to do just that.
hits.
Cool. And then he says to the creature, do we really have to fight?
Zarrius.
What Zarrius is going to do is he's going to hold his action until the guy either moves closer or not.
Bryn.
Bryn has no such reservations at this point. She will fire once with her rifle and twice with her 6-shooter.
Please don't hit me in the back.
I won't.
You're both
That
short. It's
one.
fine.
Yeah,
That thing's tall enough.
he would aim over my head.
Uh, 32?
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Astor.
Now that I think about it, that push was a waste. Oh well. Well, he's going to attack 2 more times. Here's 1. Oh. And here's 2. And then, as his hasted action, he's going to say, you certainly look intimidating, but you aren't doing half as well as you think you would be. And he's going to use Vicious Mockery on it.
I don't think you can use that for your hasted action.
Oh, you can't use spells, is that what that is?
I believe so.
Would I have to do it the other way around, where I do the
Right,
spell
so-
first and then attack?
That would have been how you done it, yeah.
Okay. That's what I would have done if I had kept the rules in mind.
Those pesky rules.
You
Yeah,
want to take
right.
a third strike instead?
What's that?
Want to take a third attack instead?
That's probably what I'll do. I guess that's what I did.
Nice.
And, yeah, he'll add another flourish in there. Why not? So +3.
Got it. Anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's the end of my turn.
Perfect. This guy is going to begin to walk up, Zarrius, if you want to take your action.
Sure. Okay, so he would move there. I'd probably want to move around him to get in some sort of flanking position with Iskrim. So at this point, he would flank with there, I would assume.
If you'd like.
Yes. And And then he'll take an attack with his shillelagh.
Hits.
And he'll do another attack with shillelagh.
Misses.
Sure. And then as a bonus action, he's going to disengage. Spending a key point to get disengage, and hold on. And move over here. And that will end his turn.
Cool. Well, he'll take his turn and then make a bunch of hits on
Well, right, sure.
East Grim, I guess. 3 attacks on East Grim. So 2 nat 1s and a 17.
What was it that Lilith gave to me?
Aid.
Temp HP, so, or not temp HP, actual HP, but nothing on AC.
Okay, then that one hits.
Cool. 16 damage?
Okie doke.
Yeah, because you no longer have only weapon. That's gone.
This guy is not going to be able to attack, but he will get on Astor's flank.
Oof. That was cool. What did I just see right there?
What?
I think I saw something showing like distance it was traveling.
Oh yeah, all you have to do is hit the spacebar and you can do that. So if you, we'll talk about that later. Lilith.
Okay. So Lilith is going to walk up. Next to Astor.
You mean Narroth?
Yeah, that's what I meant. And she's going to reach over and give him some more hit points. And then, as a bonus action, she's going to do nothing.
Okay, East Grim.
So Isgrim is now realizing that words are not going to avail of anything. So he goes ahead and he attacks the creature twice, or the person twice.
What's it?
Cool. So 15 damage.
How does that look like?
Well, he takes his axe and he swings it. And since it's more like a pick, he's used to like chopping ice very quickly or picking at ice very quickly with it. So even though these are very powerful strokes, it's also a very quick blow so that he can strike, pull back very quickly, and strike again.
Sounds good. Nara.
At this point, Narroth is going to look over to Lilith and say, "Wow, well done." And he's going to twin spell Alter Self on himself. and walk over to the ball. And he's going to begin to roll it down the path.
So you twin spell alter self. It does mention an action, I believe.
Yep. Would rolling him be an action?
Yeah, I think it would technically be like a use an object, so I think it would.
Okay. In that case, he's going over to the ball to roll it next time, I guess.
Okay. He is starting the ball. Him, who's currently invisible, begins to push the ball upward.
Towards Narroth.
No, upward. Like up.
Towards the sky.
Yes.
Interesting.
How far does he go up?
30 feet, I believe.
So half that, or is that half his speed?
That's half his speed.
Okay.
Do a nice 18 damage on this guy.
Wow.
But this guy is going to turn around and start wailing on Astor.
Yeesh. Yeah, they'll both hit.
So 10 on the first one and 17 on the second one.
Okay.
Serious.
He's going to move back into the flanking position because he should have just stayed there. And he's going to cast, he's going to take a whack at the guy with his staff again. He's trying to go for chest area, generally speaking.
Roll it. 26, or that hits too.
Okay. So, and then as a bonus action, he's going to do an unarmed strike. So he's going to take one of his free fists that's not holding his staff and give a nice slug, hopefully, to the enemy.
— 15 misses.
17. Blinking.
He will parry that.
Okay.
Somehow parries a fist. It's kind of like.
Yeah.
Bryn. Or sorry, anything else?
No, I will end my turn there.
Bryn.
Bryn is going to fire once with her pistol. And miss. Then
it's fire.
Oh yeah, you're right. In that case, she will go ahead and shoot with the rifle then.
That hits.
Okay, and as a bonus action, try to clear that misfire. Which I have a macro for somewhere.
Astor, why don't you go as we wait for that roll? Sounds good. Go for it.
Before that, let me do 2 concentration checks to make sure I keep the Shield of Faith up.
Oh, good call.
This is with advantage because of stuff and things.
Sure. Get there. There you go.
Sweet. Astor will, well, attack. No, he's going to use. Well, what he didn't get to do last time, he's going to say, well, those attacks didn't have much bite to them now. And he's going to use this. Oof. Oh well. And then he's going to use his second action to do one regular attack with the sword.
Got it.
Well, I guess technically I could do the spell a second time, but no, I can't. Anyways,
Oh, I can't. 19.
that will be. Actually, he's going to use a bonus action to cast Healing Word on himself with a second level spell.
Got it.
I do a -1 to that, so 5.
Okay, I see. Cool. I am going to swing once at Zarrius and twice at Iska.
I take it first one will be on me. Okay.
Yeah. And other two.
First one misses, second one hits.
Can I react to that?
Sure.
It's going to be hellish rebuke. As a tiefling, I have it, and he is hurting, so he needs to do something to help himself. So it's against Dex defense, and I don't know whether that would have advantage or not due to the fact that I'm flanking or not. But
No, this would not.
That's fair.
That does not hit his Dex defense.
Okay, so then half a 25.
A lot of damage, nice. Got it.
Cool.
Anything else?
That would be all for a reaction.
Cool, and then this one's gonna wail on Astor. So he goes up with this scimitar, and you just see it wreathing with flame, and he comes up there and attempts to get through Astor's defenses.
He has advantage.
He does.
The second one will hit.
Got it. Roll
So-
concentration too.
20 damage. Okay.
Takes us to Lilith.
Okay. So, Lilith is going to walk up to Astor. Yeah, I keep saying Astor, I mean Narroth. Walks up to Narroth and says, well, I didn't know they could fly. And she's going to cast a spell. As she touches Narroth's shoulders.
Dang, that's a way better heal than mine.
I mean, it is cure wounds
Yeah.
at second level, so.
No, it should have been at first level.
That's way too much of a heal for a first level spell.
8 plus 5.
The highest I can get you is 13.
Plus 1 focus.
Focus doesn't give you a +1 to the heal, I don't think.
Oh, so it's 13. I should take that off.
It also says 7 plus 5. You rolled a 7 on the dice. And then there's this weird thing going on there. If you can figure that out, that's cool. Iskrim.
Same thing. Uses his pick, attacks twice.
Both hit.
Cool. 13 damage, piercing. Same thing. He's just furiously picking away at this thing.
Anything else?
No. No, that's it.
Narroth.
How high is the creature up off the ground?
30 feet.
All right. Well, Narroth is going to look over to Lilith and say, "Well, I mean, we can just keep going. I don't think it can do much at this point other than trying to crash down on us, and I don't know if that would even hurt considering the weightlessness of the sphere."
You don't actually know that. No,
Oh,
just saying.
well, we can just keep going, and Narroth is going to sprint forward. That's going to be his action.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
This one's gonna hold the action. Yvette's gonna come up on this guy again behind him. Another 12 damage.
Oh, and Chris, by the way, it's been 3 rounds for my sphere.
I know.
Okay, I was just making sure.
That'll be Yvette's turn. We're going to try this, Astor.
Missed.
Dex defense?
Oh, Dex defense, right. I had the saving throw to 14, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll miss.
Cool. Zarrius.
Zarrius is going to try and stab again with his shillelagh staff at the guy's chest. And I'd like to maybe see how the guy's looking. Is there anything that's going on with?
He doesn't look bloodied because he doesn't. You guys are getting hits off, but he's not bleeding.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Cool. So he's going to stab him twice with shillelagh.
That hits.
17 to the 25.
I think they. Yeah, he's not going to. I don't think he can parry. So
Okay.
both will hit.
Okay. And then he's going to try and punch him again with his fist. Same general location.
Nice.
Cool. And he'll end his turn.
Bryn.
Okay, so for my first action, I am going to take the attack action, but I'm not going to attack. I am instead going to reload with the attack from my attack action.
It makes sense.
So I reload. The color of this guy is blue, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that
It's nighttime. Sorry.
It's
No.
what? Did you say it's nighttime?
Nighttime, so technically it's black. It's star. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
You
okay.
mean it's not high noon?
Ah,
Darn it.
Matthew
Okay.
Mercer does it so much better.
Oh, gee, I wonder why. I'm going to reload 6 normal bullets then, in that case. I'm going to, with my extra attack, since I took the attack action, shoot him once with the pistol. I've rolled a nat 1 on every single damage roll every round. And then take a bonus action to do another shot.
Not in that one.
You know what the worst part is, Danny?
What's that?
He had 7 HP left after the first, or before the first attack.
I'm guessing the second one didn't hit.
Oh.
The second one hits. No, you're good.
Okay.
Describe it.
This is
Yeah.
not supposed to be a fatal hit. I would like to keep him alive if possible. Hitting mostly, I mean, Bryn mostly hits extremities. So we'll say this one hits in the shoulder.
Cool. Unfortunately, his body will, when you take him out, his body disappears, but his weapon stays. So there's that.
Interesting.
Anything else?
No.
Astor.
Okay. I don't remember if someone asked this earlier, but can we hear the sound of all this fighting?
You can hear the sound of your own fighting.
Okay, cool. Astor's just going to attack the fish-like person 3 times again. I'm guessing that'll miss.
I'll miss.
It's 18.
18 will hit.
Cool. He's going to add a defensive flourish to that.
Nice.
And then final attack. That... Actually, no. And then he's going to use a bonus action to use Healing Word on himself as a 2nd level spell.
Got it.
Again?
Well, this guy's going to swing at you twice. Sorry, Astor.
Makes sense.
And does a lot of damage.
Well, the first one misses. But the 2nd
'cause
one
you-
will definitely hit. Yeah, because of the flourish.
Got it. Well, it's 20, 30 damage.
Yeah, that looks right.
And roll your concentration.
And Astor is bloodied. $24.
Nice. Lilith.
Okay. So real quick, can aid stack?
No.
Okay. So Lilith is just going to double move. And as she's moving, she's going to pull out her sword and her rod and make it a sword.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
East Grim.
Well, since the thing in front of me is down, there's not much else to do. So hold my action.
Narroth.
All right. At this point, I'm assuming we see a split in the pretty narrow path that we've been going down so far, correct?
Yep.
And is this structure on the left? Can you describe it for me?
Yeah, it appears that there is it's a treehouse. I'll just put it that way. I'm not gonna try to go into an insane descriptor if you're just passing by.
Okay. Does it appear occupied or?
No, it appears empty.
Okay. And we don't hear anything from either straight or to the right of us, correct?
Not really.
Okay. In that case, Narroth is going to keep going straight. Double move speed.
Did we lose somebody?
Hmm?
Okay, it's just nobody was talking.
Oh, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yvette will... Yvette is going to Witch Bolt at 3rd level. Yvette is not going to do that because she's in melee range. Yvette is going to swing her sword.
Plus, it's also a concentration spell, and she would lose the haste.
Okay, 13 damage. And this one will probably just swing at Yvette at this point. No, it's going to use this against Astor again.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, the 24 will hit.
Dex defense. You'll take 23 damage. You are knocked away from him and knocked prone. Serious.
Sorry, hold on 1 second. Let me get back. I'm moving my map around to see
Sorry,
the action.
Also concentration.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hold on. $20.
All right. I assume I kind of see a split in the tree line where the path is.
The obvious one, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna start moving that way, and I'm gonna tell everyone you guys need to come with. We can't split up, and I'm gonna move not my full distance, but I'm gonna move there, and I'll end my turn.
Bryn.
I'm just gonna go ahead and move my normal distance, and I'll reload my. I'll reload both guns actually.
Astor.
Alright, Astor's going to use half his movement to get up. And he has enough to get back in there. Yeah, he's going to move over this way. That was weird. Wait, is he leaving threat range if he does that?
He does not have reach, so unless you... I'm assuming you intentionally avoid it.
Intentionally, yeah. So I'm going to attack. Do I have, I think I do, but do I have flanking with Obad if I stand here?
Against this creature, yes.
Okay, so I will attack this creature 3 times. And this time using both hands on the weapon.
Hits.
I'm gonna use Savage Attacker to reroll that real quick. I'll take that one, and then the last attack.
Nice.
How's it looking?
It doesn't look like it's bleeding.
Damn it. And a healing word at 3rd level this time.
Okay.
Much better. And that'll be the end of my turn.
Cool. He's gonna move here. And swing twice. So he comes in with this flaming blade and just sees you that you are low. He's trying to get in between your defenses. I don't know what your AC is right now, so.
They both hit. So 42,
Sure.
21 and 21, yeah.
Concentration. Lilith.
All right, so Lilith is going to does Lilith see Zarrius now?
Sure.
Okay, so Lilith is going to move 30 feet to here. And then she's going to hold her action to cast Cure Wounds on Zarrius as soon as he comes within range of me, and speak out to Zarrius, because Zarrius is looking hurt, right?
Very much so, as he is weak from still the tree and also kind of bruised.
So she'll hold a Cure Wounds for when Zarrius gets near so she can reach out and touch him and cure him. And she'll tell him that as she's walking.
Iskrim. Your rage is now gone.
Oh, yeah, I never raged when we were in here.
Never mind.
Okay. I'm basically just going to be dashing behind Zarrius. So you see Iskrim, he hefts his axe in one hand and his shield in the other and just starts trotting along and ends up behind Zarrius.
Narroth.
Alright, so Narroth has, I'm assuming, heard Lilith speak over to Zarrius, and he's going to basically stop running away from the weird ball thing and look around and say, "Oh, hey, they're here." And then basically walk on over this way and kind of give a wave. "Hey guys, there's thing over there, and he's going to point over towards the enemy that's entrapped in Lilith's spell. And that's going to be his turn.
As you say that, he disappears.
You mean go... Never mind.
You can still see the ball.
Ball dissipates.
Okay, well, never mind. Narroth only looks mildly crazy.
It's okay. He said
End of
crazier
turn.
things before.
It's true.
Wow.
Damn. Go Yvette.
So her sword flashes with a white light, and she cuts it and then holds it there as it sort of sears this guy's flesh. But he's going to take 2 attacks at one at Astor and one at Yvette. Astor. Yvette.
Yeah, that'll hit, and Astor goes down.
Zarrius.
He would see Lilith and heard what she said and move over towards her.
So Lilith, when he approaches,
Cool. And that'll end Zarrius' turn.
Bryn.
Okay, Bryn is going to double move. Bryn is going to try to double move. And the token isn't working.
Works for me.
Okay,
Appearing on our screen.
is it moving around on your guys' screen?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, just put me right under Lilith to the left. If you can, Chris, since I can't control anything.
Do you have
I-
a cursor? Oh,
Yeah, it's just not working.
uh,
Can you move me, Chris? Anyways,
Done.
cool. It hasn't showed up on my screen yet. I'll need to reload roll 20. So I'll go ahead and double move up to the rest of the party and say, have you guys seen Astor yet?
No.
Speaking of which, Astor, make it a saving throw.
There it is. If only with a 20.
Perfect. This guy is going to pick up Astor. It's going to physically drag you over to the tree side, and vines are going to take over the body, and Astor is going to leave the map. And I think just for time's sake, you see Yvette look around. She is going to do her signature move.
Oh,
Damn.
And with a loud crack, everyone will hear this thing. She will move towards you guys.
Nice.
And as she looks back, the other two elemental type figures disappear, and we'll end combat here.
And I think with that, we are going to end for the night. Thank you so much for joining us here on Low Rollers Live. We do stream every Monday night at 9 p.m. here at twitch.tv/Pwrlvl podcasts. If you aren't caught up, you can follow the link down below to our YouTube channel where we store all of our past episodes, so you can go back in time and listen to those, get yourself caught up on the story. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us here. We'd love to see you next week, so please tell your friends, please come back. We love having you guys around to listen to us and watch us play Dungeons & Dragons. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, and we will see you next week.